يلا نبدأ.
يلا.
يلا. We talked last session about about illness and diseases, and we said that illness when we feel that we are not better or we are not well, and then we go to the doctor and describe to him what are the signs that we have or what are the symptoms that we have, and then the doctor prescribe us some drugs and medicine. Then the drugs and the medicines are chemical substances that make us feel better. Okay, and we said that what are the instructions to use the drugs and to keep them away from the reach of children and to keep them in a cool place. Do you remember what we talked about the last session?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Today we'll talk about the diseases and the illness from another side. We will talk about the illness. Are these illness are infectious or not? Do you know the meaning of the word infectious?
Yes.
Yes. What is the meaning of this word?
Unless it can spread to another one.
Yes. So infectious disease or infectious illness is a disease that is passed from one organism or from one living thing to another. If who have an infectious disease like influenza as an example, if she come in contact with her brother, her partners in the class, she may pass to them this illness because influenza is an infectious disease. It can pass from one person to another if they are in contact with each other or they are near to each other. Okay, Hua?
Okay.
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 Okay. To prevent the spreading of this disease, we have to stay away from the patient. The patient is the person who have a disease or who has infectious disease. We call it a patient. Okay, do you know it? Do you know this word?
Yes.
Yes, a patient is the person who have a disease. We called him a patient. So to keep us away from the infectious disease, we have to stay away from the patient or to separate the patient in a separated area or a separated room to prevent the illness from passing to us. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. If we cough or sneeze, if the patient or the person who have the illness cough or sneeze without putting
Without putting something in front of our face, we can pass or spread an illnesses to others, such as COVID-19.
yes, very good. It will pass them to the other. The other will become patients also. Yes, like COVID-19. Scientists call this type of illness an infectious disease as it passes from one person to another quickly. Passes quickly. Okay, some infectious disease can make us very ill. There is infectious disease that can make us very ill, have a very strong symptoms, and we feel pain, such as COVID-19. COVID-19 is a disease that was spread all over the world, and it has symptoms like what? Do you know symptoms of COVID-19? Or
Yes.
tell me.
Corona.
Yes, symptoms, the signs of the illness. It causes what to us?
I don't know.
It makes us feel that our muscles have a big pain, sneezing and cough, sneezing, and that we are breathless. Breathless means that we can't take our breath. We can't respire normally. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and it is a very infectious disease. it causes that a very big number of persons to die. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. So if we have an infectious disease that is spread within persons, we have to keep us away from them to prevent the passage of the illness to us. Okay, we have a group of diseases that are infectious, like COVID-19. We have a disease called hepatitis. Do you know the meaning of the word hepatitis?
No.
Hepatitis is when there is inflammation in our liver. We call it hepatitis. It's a disease which is infectious, can pass through dirty food or dirty water. Okay, hepatitis.
Okay.
Okay, or from the blood which is contaminated with these illness. There is different types of hepatitis. There is different types. So I have hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. Some of them can spread through dirty food and dirty water, and some can spread through transaction of blood or transferring of blood from a patient to normal person. Okay, Hur?
Okay.
Another infectious disease is rubella. Rubella is a type of influenza. It's a type of influenza called rubella. And influenza also is infectious disease. Some of these diseases are a serious disease, can cause death for persons, and other are weak diseases like influenza. We all have influenza every winter. We all catch influenza or have influenza. Do you have influenza do you have influenza anytime?
I don't know what the meaning of influenza.
Influenza flu. Do you know the flu?
Blue.
disease
No.
flu. اوكي برد يعني جالك انفلونزا دي virus cause some symptoms like cold. Do you know cold?
Yes.
Cold, yes, it's cold. Influenza is similar to cold. It has some symptoms like cold, sneezing, runny nose, feel that there is a pain in our muscles. These are all called influenza. So influenza is a type of infectious disease that is not very serious. We can take it and then we are okay after some days. It's not very serious. COVID-19 hepatitis can cause death to people. Can cause death to people if they catch these two illness or diseases. Some infectious diseases are serious or can cause death to persons, and others are weak. We can only feel some symptoms, then we will be okay, or then we will feel better. Okay?
Okay.
We may even die if we don't have medicines to help us get better, like in COVID-19. When we don't have medicines, the person who have COVID-19 may die. Okay, Hur?
Okay.
Okay. Some diseases are infectious diseases and other diseases are not infectious. It can be passed from one person to another. Like what? He is saying that not all illnesses are infectious. There are some illnesses which are not infectious, can be passed from one person to another. Like what? Like cancer. Cancer is a disease that can be passed from one person to another. Heart disease. If we have a disease in our heart, it can be passed from one person to another. It is a disorder in the organs. Do you understand the meaning of disorder? Hur?
Yes.
Yes, disorder when our organ can't work properly. We called it as that our organ has a disorder, like we have heart disease. Our heart is not work very well. So we have heart disease. Okay, so cancer is not infectious, heart disease are not infectious, and diabetes cannot spread from one person to another. Diabetes is another illness or another disease that can be spread from one person to another. Do you know the diabetes?
No.
Diabetes is a disorder in our pancreas. There is a hormone or substance that have to be in our body. It's absent. When it is absent there is a disease called diabetes. diabetes هو مرض السكر. عارفة السكر؟
Yeah.
هو مرض اسمه السكر. Diabetes when there is substance that it have to be present in our body but it's absent. Here the absence of this substance cause diabetes. Diabetes is not infectious. If I have a diabetes, I
But
can't.
we,
Yes,
but we can die.
it can what?
We can die.
Yes, we can die. Yes, but it can't be spread. If I have diabetes or if I have heart disease or if I have cancer, I can't pass it to any person. It's not infectious. So now you know the difference between infectious diseases and non-infectious.
Yes.
Yes, infectious diseases they are diseases that can pass from one person to another or can spread between persons. We call it infectious disease. Non-infectious diseases are diseases that can't be spread from one person to another. Okay, Hor?
Okay.
Okay. How can these diseases spread? They may spread if we sneeze or cough without covering our face. We can pass it to another person. So when we are coughing or when we are sneezing, we have to cover our face with a tissue or with our hands. Then we wash our hands. Okay, Hor?
Okay.
Okay. Now we will solve these activities. It's important to know how diseases and illness start. We have to know each illness or each disease, how it starts. Then we can try to prevent them from spreading. When I know that COVID-19, as an example, is spreading by coughing and sneezing, we have to cover our face when we are coughing or sneezing to prevent the spread of this disease. There are another infectious disease that spread through drinking dirty water. Can you see this dirty water?
Yes.
Yes, this dirty water has some diseases. When we drink it, we got this disease. So it's infectious disease. It is spread when we drink this dirty water. So we have not to drink dirty water or eat dirty food because they cause some disease to spread. So we have to know how the disease starts. When we know how it starts, we can prevent its spreading. Okay, Hor?
Okay.
Okay, we know that influenza spread by sneezing. When we sneeze without covering our face, and influenza can be spread to another person. So we have to cover our face when we are sneezing with a tissue or with our hands. Then we wash our hands. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. A, he is asking me to find out about the illnesses mentioned in the Think Like a Scientist box above. He wants from me to find out about these illnesses here. We talked about them. We said that COVID-19 is a disease that causes us to cough and sneeze and feel pain in our muscles. Hepatitis is a disease that comes to our liver. Rubella is a disease which is like influenza. It make us feel high temperature or fever and have a runny nose. Runny nose, that when there is fluids come out from our nose. Do you know runny nose?
Yes.
Yes. These are infectious disease. We have another diseases like cancer or heart disease or diabetes. When yes yes بتقولي حاجة حور؟
لا.
لا okay. So these diseases are not infectious as we said. Okay, B, sort them into two groups, infectious and not infectious. We sorted them. We know that these diseases are infectious and these diseases are non-infectious. Okay. He wants from me to research these other illnesses and add them to your groups. Malaria, Ebola, chickenpox, and salmonella. Do you know these diseases? Or?
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell me which one is infectious and which one is not infectious?
Salmonella, I don't know.
Hmm.
And this. I know only the chicken box.
Tell me about the chickenpox.
It is not infectious.
No, it's infectious.
How?
How? Chickenpox is a disease that causes spots or stings like or spot on our skin, red spots on our skin. When we come in contact with the patients or the people who have these spots, it can be infectious to us. But we can catch it only one time along our life. Okay? Okay, Hor?
Okay.
Okay, so chickenpox is infectious. هو الجدري المائي لو عارفاه. عارفة الجدري المائي؟
لا.
Okay, it's a disease that causes spots on our skin and and these spots can be infectious. It can spread to other persons, but we can have a chickenpox once a time in our life. يعني بيجي لنا مرة واحدة بس. Okay, if you have a chickenpox one time during your life, it will not come again to you. It will not infect you again. This is the chickenpox. It is infectious disease. Okay, Hor?
Okay.
Okay, we have malaria and Ebola and salmonella. Malaria and Ebola are infectious disease. Okay, they can spread from one person to another. Okay, Hor? Malaria causes chills when we have high temperature, fever, headache, and to go to the toilet a lot of times. This is malaria and it is infectious disease.
Like salmonella?
Salmonella is not infectious.
But we go to the toilet lots.
We go to the toilet a lot. Very good. Yes, we go to the toilet a lot. But salmonella is not infectious. Malaria is infectious. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Malaria can be spread when there is a mosquito which sting our blood and take the infected blood from the patient to the normal person. It catch malaria. So malaria is spread by a mosquito. When a mosquito sting our skin, then what?
What is a mosquito?
Mosquito, it's an insect which sting us.
Insect?
Insect, mosquito is an insect, ناموسة أو بعوضة. Okay, this is a mosquito. When a mosquito stings the skin of a patient who have malaria, and then it come and sting a normal person, it passes the disease from the patient to the normal person through the blood that the mosquito absorbed from the patient's body. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. يعني لو جت الناموسة دي قرصت واحد عنده الملاريا، الانسكت دي بتعمل ايه؟ it drink the blood. هي بتعدي كده عندها جزء كده في البق بتاعها بيعدي من السكان وبتعمل ايه؟ بتعمل absorbing to the blood. Malaria present at the blood. When the mosquito absorbs the blood of the patient and then it come and sting a normal person, it spread the disease to him. Okay, this is malaria. Okay, حور.
Okay.
Okay. Chicken pox, we talked about it. Ebola is infectious disease. Its symptoms that the patient have fever and have aches. It means pains in his body or his muscles. It's infectious or spread when we are in contact with any fluids from the patient. يعني from the blood of the patient, it can spread the disease. From the sweat, do you know the word sweat?
No.
No, sweat يعني العرق. يعني أي سوائل بتخرج من جسم المريض can make the disease spread. يعني البلاد بتاعه ممكن ينشر المرض ده. السويت العرق بتاعه ممكن ينشر المرض ده. Okay?
Okay.
So Ebola can be spread out between persons from the fluids of the infected person, from his blood or from his sweat. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Salmonella is non-infectious disease. What are the symptoms of salmonella? Who do you know?
Chills.
Yes.
Going toilet a lot.
Yes. Okay, it's okay. How can we get salmonella? How can we be infected with salmonella if we eat or drink dirty food? Like this water. If we drink this dirty water, it contains salmonella. If we eat dirty food, it contains salmonella. Like this one. He is here explaining salmonella and how we can infect it by it. Name is salmonella. Other names is food poisoning. Symptoms, when we have salmonella, we have chills and going to toilet lots and being sick. Feel that we are not okay. Our body is aching. Okay, Hor? This is the symptoms of salmonella. Hor, okay?
Okay.
Okay. How we get it? When eating and drinking dirty food or water, we get salmonella. Okay, how to get better? How to feel better? By taking medicines to help stomach cramps and an upset stomach. Stomach cramps when we feel pain in our stomach. We call it stomach cramps. Okay, Hor?
Okay.
So stomach cramps is when we feel pain in our stomach. And an upset stomach when we feel that we want to vomit. Do you know the word vomit?
What?
Vomit. Do you know the meaning of the word vomit?
No.
Vomit يعني ترجيع. Upset stomach when we feel that we want to vomit. This means that we have upset stomach. Okay?
Okay.
So to feel better from salmonella, we have to take medicines to make us or to help us with the stomach cramps or the stomach pains and upset stomach, which is vomiting. We have to take medicine for these symptoms, stomach cramps and upset stomach. Okay, Hur?
Okay.
So we have different ways to the infectious disease to be spread. There is some diseases that is spread by coughing and sneezing, and another disease that is spread by when we are in contact with patients, like a chicken pox. Okay, and some other diseases like malaria spread from the fluids, the sweat, or the blood of the patient. Sorry, Ebola. Ebola spread when we are spread from the fluids of the patients, like blood and like sweat. Okay, Hur?
Okay.
Okay, so there are different ways for the disease spread. How to decrease the spreading of these diseases, Hur? What do you think? How to decrease the spreading of these diseases?
What?
How to decrease the spreading of these infectious disease? Do you know?
No.
By increase our hygiene. By increase our hygiene. Hygiene means to wash our hands after using toilets, to wash our hands after sneezing or coughing, to cover our face while we are sneezing or we are coughing, not to come near to persons who have diseases, like not to come to persons who have chickenpox or persons who have influenza or who have COVID-19, to keep the patients in a separate room or in a separate space without direct contact with them. We can decrease the spreading of infectious disease by these things, by increasing the hygiene. Hygiene اللي هي النظافة الشخصية، الاهتمام بالنظافة الشخصية. To wash your hands after using toilets, to wash your hands before eating or drinking, to wash your hands after sneezing and coughing, not to come in direct contact with patients. Okay, not to use personal tools like spoons of another person, like nail clipper. Do you know the nail clipper? Hur?
What?
Do you know the nail clipper?
No.
No, nail clipper الصافة، صافة الضوافر. Toothbrush. Do you know the toothbrush?
Yes.
Yes, not to use toothbrush of another person. Okay, not to eat with a spoon of another person. Okay,
Okay.
do you understand the word hygiene and what to do?
Yes.
Can you tell me what to do to decrease the spread of the disease?
Make a hygiene.
Yes, what are the hygienes? What are the things that we have to do?
Wash our hands before eating and after.
Yes.
Washing our hands after toilets.
Yes.
Don't
Washing.
using
Yes.
any one of a towel.
Yes.
Don't using any one of toothbrush.
Yes. Very good. I will show you a video now.
In childhood.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Yes. Watch the video with me.
Here, you wear a lot of different hats: teacher, nurse, chef, storyteller. But one of the most important is public sanitation engineer. In other words, you need to keep things clean. We all know kids can be messy, but that messiness can help spread it.
In this video, we are talking about the spreading of diseases, how the disease could be spread between persons. He is talking about schools and nurseries that have a lot of number of children. He will tell us the way that the disease is spread. Okay, Hur?
Okay.
Okay.
Infections if it's not in check. Let's take a look around this childcare facility to see what the 5 ways of spreading infections are. The most obvious is direct transmission through contact. One child has an infection and touches another child, or an adult. Then we're off to the races. It's then a matter of which of them will spread it faster. That's not.
He is talking about the first way of spreading disease, which is the direct contact. When we are in direct contact with a patient or with a person who have a disease. When we are in direct contact or in direct touch with him, when we touch his hands, touch his clothes or his face, the disease can come or transmit to us. Okay, this is the first way.
A fun competition for anyone. Indirect transmission is probably the most common way people get sick. The infected person spreads germs around by touching stuff, like toys or doorknobs, and then other people touch that same stuff after them and pick the germs up. Then they touch their nose or eyes or mouth and become infected themselves. Then they touch stuff, and so on. The third kind of...
Now, do you know the second way is the indirect contact? When I am a patient or I have a disease and then I touch the desk or touch the books or touch toys, then you are a normal person and touch the same thing that I have catched. The disease is transmitted to you. It's indirect way. Okay, Hor?
Okay.
Okay, understand the video?
Yes.
Yes.
Transmission is fecal oral transmission, which sounds gross because it is. Yep, time for poop talk. Any childcare always has kids who are learning how to use the bathroom on their own, and people who are changing the diapers of the rest. Poop happens. It's kind of unnecessary to point out that handling poop is unhealthy, period, but when there's an infection along for the ride as well, it can be even more serious. It's really just a different type of indirect transmission, but with... Okay, you get it. Germ...
He's talking about when the disease is transmitted when we doesn't wash our hands after using toilets or in the nurseries after changing the diapers for the babies. We have to wash our hands because there is diseases that transmit from fecal transmission from the poops or from the toilets, using toilets. So after using toilets, we have to wash our hands. Okay, Hor?
Okay.
Okay.
Germs also get spread through smaller respiratory droplets that we exhale when we sing or shout or sneeze or cough, even talking to a smaller extent. Those droplets can get on anything in a 3 to 6 foot radius. Things like crayons or eyeglasses. And the process repeats, hands to face to sick. Airborne transmission is when aerosolized...
Okay, the fourth way is when we sneeze or cough and there is a droplets come out from our mouth and nose. These droplets can spread all over the surfaces around us. Then when we touch these surfaces, the disease is transmitted to us. Okay, Hor?
Okay.
Okay.
Droplets or dust particles carry germs along, which is similar to sneeze droplets, but makes the hang time in the air longer, and the distance they can travel quite a bit further. All of this can quickly turn a childcare facility into an infection incubator if proper health practices aren't kept up meticulously. The good news is that it's not tough to minimize the spread of germs and infections. And now that you know how disease is transmitted, you're ready to learn and implement basic health practices, and then teach them to kids so they can protect themselves and others around them.
The last one is the airborne. Airborne when the droplets stay suspended in the air, like COVID-19. COVID-19 was infectious or was spread all over large areas because it can stay suspended in the air. Do you know? Do you understand suspended in the air?
Yes.
It stay in the air. When I sneeze in a room, the disease or the droplets from my mouth and nose stay suspended in the air. When someone else enters the room and breathe inside the room, it takes the disease inside its body. Okay? This is the fifth way to how the disease is spread. Okay, Hor, you understand this video? Okay. So
Yes.
to decrease the spreading of the diseases, we have to wash our hands all the time after using toilets, before eating, after eating. If we come in contact with anything that we think that it is contaminated or not clean, we have to wash our hands, to cover our face when we are sneezing or coughing, to prevent the spreading of any disease. Okay, حور?
Okay.
Okay. Now we will talk about plants. Do plants can have diseases?
Yes.
Yes, because they are living things, so they may have some diseases. Okay, and they may have some infectious diseases also. They have some diseases which is infectious and can spread from one plant to another. You already know that plants can become ill. Many plants diseases are also infectious. So plants also have some infectious disease. It can spread from one plant to another plant. But they are only infectious to other plants. If the plant have a disease, it can infect another plant only. It can't infect animals or it can't infect humans. The diseases are infectious through plants only. Okay, حور?
Okay.
Okay, animals cannot get plant disease. If there is a disease present in a plant, it can't be infectious to animals. It could be infectious to plants only. However, if animals eat a diseased plant, but if we eat a diseased plant, if we eat a plant which has a disease, they can start vomiting. Vomit يعني أرجع. They can start vomiting and get diarrhea. Diarrhea is when we go to the toilet lot. Okay, so the disease of the plants can't affect humans or animals. But if we eat a plant which has a disease or an ill plant, what would happen? Can you tell me more?
Yes, we can start vomiting
Yes,
and get diarrhea.
diarrhea and stomach ache. Stomach ache is pain in our stomach. This happens when we eat a plant which has a disease. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Plant diseases spread from plant to plant very quickly. The diseases in the plant can spread from one plant to another very quickly. Why they spread very quickly? Because plants grow close together. You can see the plant, all the leaves are in touch with each other. So if any plant have a disease, it will spread very quickly among these plants because they are all close together. If all the plants in an area die, if the plants or all the plants die, what would happen if the plants die, حور?
This affect the animals that eat them.
Yes, we eat plant. Do you eat plant?
Yes.
Yes, give me examples for the plants that you eat.
Carrots,
Yes,
cucumber,
yes. There are a lot of
Uh,
examples: tomato, potato, onions, lots of things that we eat.
watermelon.
Yes, very good. All these are plants. If we imagine that all plants will die, what would happen? We can't find food to eat. We can't find the food to eat it. They can starve. What's the meaning of starve?
Like don't have any food.
Yes, when we have no food to eat, we feel very, very, very hungry. This is the word starve meaning, that we are very hungry, we don't found what to eat. We have no plants or no food to eat, so we starve.